We have always thought that rivers start from small streams flowing down mountains or slopes. But sonar scans have now shown that, besides surface rivers, there are also underwater rivers flowing deep in the ocean. These are also called undersea conduits. To understand them better, we will explore how several undersea channels are formed. Monterey Canyon is an underwater canyon. After some accumulation, these underwater channels often create barriers. Studies of these barriers show that they result from repeated sediment deposits along the riverbed. From a land perspective, Angelita is a natural, ordinary deep pit. You would be amazed at how it was formed. Fresh water slowly collects in the deep pit, while salt water appears in the collapsed areas of the limestone below. This causes groundwater to emerge and underwater rivers to form. Also, a halite layer forms because of the density difference between freshwater and saltwater. This layer separates surface freshwater from deep saltwater, creating the illusion of an underwater river shaded by greenery. Angelita is not a real river, because it's an illusion caused by a layer of murky, foul-smelling gas. These gases move independently, twisting and turning like a meandering river. Another underwater river was found in the Black Sea, along the coasts of Eurasia and the Atlantic marginal seas. It was only discovered by scientists in 2010. The source of this undersea channel is the salty water from the Mediterranean connecting to the Atlantic. Mediterranean water flows into the Black Sea through the narrow Bosphorus Strait. Eventually, the salt water enters the undersea channel. Because the salinity and density of Mediterranean water differ from those of the Black Sea, the two waters don't mix. So, a distinct channel forms at the bottom of the Black Sea. That is the story of these fascinating rivers, which still await full exploration and understanding. They were once seen as miracles, and great. It was later proven that behind these mysterious underwater rivers, once thought to be miraculous natural phenomena, there is actually a scientific explanation. We have every reason to believe that many more such mysterious underwater rivers exist worldwide. That's all for this episode. Please remember to like and share. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode. Stonehenge in southern England is one of the most mysterious monuments built by humans. About 5,000 years ago, the origin and purpose of these stones intrigue scientists. Scientists found evidence of human activity at the site. A quarry was discovered there. In 1923, a geological survey revealed that these megaliths came from the Preseli Hills in Wales, about 225 kilometers away. There are around 80 stones in total, each weighing roughly 22 tons. In ancient times, people had no basic technologies like pulleys or wheels to move such huge stones. In 1963, an astronomer suggested that Stonehenge served as an ancient computer. It was used as an ancient observatory, capable of predicting solar eclipses. Even more astonishing, some believe aliens helped the ancient Britons build Stonehenge. However, these theories contradict much archaeological and scientific evidence. Scientists believe the stones were transported from as far as 800 kilometers off Scotland's east coast. Other historians suggest Stonehenge was a meeting place for early Britons. Only by being a political center could the entire nation have been mobilized to move the stones. Later, near Stonehenge, in a Neolithic village, human remains were discovered, which also indicate that those individuals were only 9 months old when they were killed. This suggests that the annual gathering took place during the winter solstice. It indicates that the site was a religious gathering place, rather than a space observatory. Archaeological findings from the University of Birmingham reveal underground caves and massive wooden structures around Stonehenge, indicating that the area surrounding Stonehenge was a major human settlement. But the specific method of construction remains a mystery. According to estimates, Shoeshire Town may require up to 30 million man-hours to complete. Or it might take 100 workers working non-stop for 34 years to finish it. Giant Stone Town could also be built in stages. through the efforts of several generations. Just like the pyramids and Machu Picchu, it originates from a distant past. A precise understanding of Giant Stone Town requires further research. What do you, being so clever, think? How was Giant Stone Town built? Remember to leave a comment and let us know. Thank you for watching. The sun formed nearly 4.6 billion years ago. Yet there is a theory suggesting that the sun is actually hollow. This theory posits that the sun is essentially a hollow shell, with its interior being a vacuum. Some even believe that its inner world is 1,000 times larger than ours. The origin of the hollow sun theory is most closely linked to UFO researcher Jeffrey Volinsky. He posits that the sun has no core, and that someday it will behave like a giant exploding balloon, self-contracting and collapsing, eventually forming an iron-nickel core, and ultimately becoming a life-sustaining planet. He even implies that not only are stars actually planets, but that planets evolve from ancient stars. Some have accepted this theory, and have gone so far as to assert that the interior of the sun is an absolute vacuum enclosed in a clear shell. They support their claim with three seemingly plausible arguments. The first involves examining solar seismology from the perspective of solar pressure waves. They claim that scientists have observed the sun emitting halos much like a bell might chime, with these oscillations traveling through a thin plasma shell, which is far easier than passing through an extremely dense medium. Next, if the sun were formed by the accumulation of interstellar matter, its rotation speed should be much faster than it is now. Finally, they claim that the visible dark depressions on the sun's surface, known as sunspots, exist because we are observing the sun's absolute vacuum as a result of a temporary thinning of solar hydrogen. On March 18, 2016, Metro Daily published an image, which was then used to support the hollow sun theory. The image shows a bright beam of light piercing through the sun's core. To this day, people are still debating what this unidentified object on the sun might be, and whether it proves that the sun is actually hollow. Currently, this theory still lacks a further credible explanation, and scientists have not provided a convincing account. But we trust that they will eventually find the answer. Alright, that concludes this episode. What do you all think? Remember to like and follow. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode. In 1915, at Wild Camp in Arizona, a massive meteorite wrapped in a feathered blanket was discovered buried in an ancient ruin. George Dawson discovered something that resembled a tomb. And sure enough, there was nothing there. After excavation, it was revealed that it turned out to be a 122 gene piece, wrapped in fragments of nickel and iron from a meteorite. The site resembled a human burial ground, suggesting that the tomb's owner had some connection with this object. During ancient Greek times, meteorites were believed to possess divine power, and the Temple of Apollo was built to commemorate the place where a meteoroid fell to Earth. To them, that stone was a form of energy, radiating from Delphi's meteorite to every corner of the Earth. And this meteorite was also thought to be a tool for communicating with the gods. So many wonder if it was left by Zeus, or if it is truly a special stone that can help people communicate with alien civilizations. Are the ancient accounts of meteorites communicating with humans merely myths? Some theorists insist that the answer is naturally no, because when re-examining what Muslims consider sacred meteorites, that is, what they call the Black Stone, one can find evidence that many things were deliberately sent to Earth. Legend has it that the Black Stone is Adam's altar used by the first man in the world. Later, the angel Gabriel handed it over to Abraham. Then Abraham and Ishmael placed the Black Stone in the Kaaba of Mecca. That is it, the place where he is today. So some people suspect that aliens deliberately pushed human progress on Earth by purposely sending this stone to Abraham, and whether the connection between the Kaaba Black Stone and the biblical story of Adam and Eve can further prove that aliens used meteors to nurture life on Earth. The answer seems unimaginable. Scientifically, this is impossible. So far, there is no evidence to prove a connection between them. So what do you think? Please share your opinions. Thanks for watching. See you next time. The year 2010. Geologists discovered a huge cave a few kilometers north of the Bolivian border. After investigation, they realized that these caverns could not have formed naturally. They have been to many caves in Brazil, but none of them looked like these tunnels. However, since then, experts across the country have discovered these mysterious tunnels. Geologist Frank accidentally discovered a tunnel while driving. But what really caught his attention was a roughly 1 meter wide opening at a construction site. He discovered that this opening actually led to a complex underground tunnel system. These underground tunnels appear to be over 10,000 years old. Furthermore, it seems that hundreds of tunnels are spread across Brazil. Local residents and even experts have no idea where they come from, nor who built them. However, tests indicate that these tunnels were not man-made, contrary to the mysterious urban legends regarding the various historical origins of these mysterious tunnels. Anyway, just based on geological evidence, it is clear that these tunnels were not built by indigenous Brazilians. However, according to Frank, natural geological processes known to man cannot account for some characteristics of these tunnels. The geographical distribution of the tunnels presents another puzzle for scientists. For example, these tunnels have only been found in southern Brazil and are almost non-existent in northern Brazil, although there are claw marks on the walls. Frank added that animals such as bears might not even be the creators of these tunnels. Frank eventually sent photos of these tunnels to the Brazilian Speleological Society. He proposed the concept of ancient caves, that is, caves from ancient geological times, tunnels excavated by living organisms. Frank admitted that throughout his entire career, he had never heard of the concept of ancient caves. However, it's not entirely his fault. Until the early 21st century, scientific literature hardly mentioned any caves believed to have been created by extinct animals. It wasn't until 2015 that scientists had the opportunity to extensively explore these mysterious tunnels. If the theory of ancient caves holds true, then the tunnels in Brazil might have been constructed between 10,000 and 8,000 years ago. If that is indeed the case, then the Londona tunnels discovered by Frank could be the first and largest drum caves in the Amazon region. To deepen the sense of mystery, Frank noted that these tunnels can actually be found all over the world. He mentioned that in Uruguay, Paraguay, Chile, Bolivia, Argentina, and other countries, similar caves exist. These caves might also be ancient, but until scientists figure out who built these caves, what they are, or how they formed, these tunnels remain a mystery. So, what do you think? Remember to like and comment. Thank you for watching. See you next time.